Let's get giggling. One day, Dragon had just gotten out of bed and was brushing his teeth when he made a very funny sound. He'd never made a sound quite like that before.
I wonder what other sounds I can make as I brush my teeth.
Dragon was having a wonderful time making silly sounds.
I feel very silly today.
Dragon realized there were all sorts of special days. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day.
But there isn't a silly day.
Dragon decided there should be. So, Dragon gathered together his friends and told them his idea.
Today is Silly Day, so we can all be as silly as we want.
Like, just how silly, little blue dude?
As silly as this.
Wow, that's great. Wow.
It'll be great fun to be that silly.
Be nice to be silly for a change, yeah?
Let's go figure out what silly stuff we're gonna do.
Have you already decided what silly things you're going to do today?
Well, Silly Day is a great idea, but I'm not too good at being silly.
Oh, I think you'd be great at being silly. Wanna try?
No, you'll all have lots of fun without me.
Dragon thought it was too bad Mealmouse didn't want to be silly.
Maybe she'll be silly later.
In the meantime, he had to get to work thinking up a day's worth of silly things to do. Willy-nilly silliness. Dragon had decided it was Silly Day, a day for Dragon and all his friends to be very silly. Ostrich decided she would sing a very silly song whenever someone bought something at her store.
Let's go figure out what silly stuff we're gonna do.
Oh, you bought some bubble gum. Bubble gum is yum yum yum. You can chew and blow a great big bubble, but not too big or you will be in trouble.
Dragon tried to be silly by not laughing at funny things, but laughing was too much fun.
Hello.
Hello, Mealmouse.
Beaver decided he'd have very silly naps.
I'll put the pillow under my feet instead of my head, yeah, and my snoring will be very silly for sure.
That was very silly, until Beaver fell sound asleep. Then his snoring became just plain snory.
Hello.
Whoa! Hello, Mealmouse.
Alligator decided to wear a tutu and do a very silly dance.
Oh, wow.
Everyone was being silly except Mealmouse.
You sure you don't want to be silly with us?
I'm having lots of fun watching all of you be silly. And besides, the alligator is being silly enough for all of us.
Dragon had to agree. Alligator's silly dance was the silliest thing he'd ever seen.
Silly Day was a very good idea.
Sneakily silly. It was Silly Day, and Dragon, Alligator, Ostrich, and Beaver were being very, very silly. Mealmouse, though, just wanted to watch because she didn't think she was very good at being silly.
It's very easy to be silly. I do it all the time. You want to try?
Maybe I'll be silly later, but for now, I've got mail to deliver.
Dragon was trying to decide what silly thing he would do next when he felt Cat playing with his tail.
Hello, Cat. Are you being silly for Silly Day, too?
But then,
Ooh.
Dragon noticed Cat was playing with his tail because somebody had tied a ribbon to it.
That's very silly. I wonder who did that. It must have been Alligator.
That is very silly, little blue dude, but it wasn't me.
Now, Dragon and Alligator were very curious.
If it wasn't you who tied the ribbon to my tail, who did?
Alligator decided they should go ask Beaver, but when they started to walk,
Wait just one sec. You hear that? Like, jingling?
No.
Huh. Okay. Whoa, you hear that?
now Dragon heard jingling too.
I think it's one of us.
It was Alligator who was jingling.
Someone tied a bell to your tail.
Whoa! Whoa, that's very silly.
Dragon was very happy. He'd made up Silly Day and his friends were being very silly. But he sure did want to know who was being silly so sneakily. The silliest of them all. Silly Day was going very well, with lots and lots of silliness, and someone was being sneakily silly, tying a ribbon to Dragon's tail and a bell to Alligator's. The two friends asked Beaver if he was the one.
Sneaking around, tying things to tails. No. Sounds like a lot of work to me. Now, if you don't mind, I'm all tuckered out from my silly sleeping, and I need a little lie down.
But when Beaver hopped into his hammock,
Yeah.
it started to squeak. Every time Beaver moved, the hammock squeaked.
Oh, well, I'll be. Somebody hid a squeaky toy in my hammock. yeah, that's pretty silly. Oh, yeah. And very sneaky.
But if I didn't do it, and Dragon didn't do it, and you didn't do it,
Ostrich must have done it.
Dragon and Alligator decided they should do something sneakily silly for Ostrich to make her laugh.
She used a ribbon and a bell and a squeaky toy to be very silly.
Maybe we could use a whoopee cushion. You know, we'll fill it with air, and then when Ostrich sits on it...
Dragon agreed that was very silly, and the two went inside Ostrich's store to get a whoopee cushion so they could be sneakily silly. But when they got inside, they saw Male Mouse making a smiley face. When Ostrich saw the smiley face, she started to laugh.
That was very silly.
And the ribbon on your tail? The bell on Alligator's tail?
Huh?
The squeaky toy in Beaver's hammock.
You did that silly stuff too?
Male Mouse had been taking part in Silly Day just like all her friends. Dragon was delighted. Male Mouse thought she was too shy to be silly, and it turned out she was the silliest of them all.
And the best part is, Silly Day isn't over yet. There's still lots more silliness to be done.
Hey, why don't we go over to Beaver's and do some more silly stuff?
Dragon had invented a very good day. So, Male Mouse, Dragon, Ostrich, and Alligator all ran over to Beaver's house to do some more silly stuff. Silly Day was truly a fun day for all.